Hello and welcome to AuntMinnieTV, the web show at RSNA 2012. My name is Brian Casey. I'm editor-in-chief of AuntMinnie.com, and we are here at RSNA 2012. It is Monday and day 2 of RSNA, and the show's been going well so far. We have with us today Eric Ridley. He's senior editor of AuntMinnie.com. We have Kate Madney, she is associate editor of AuntMinnie.com, and also Wayne Forrest, he's features editor, and we hopefully will also have a special guest in just a couple minutes to talk about what's been going on here on the floor. So day 2 just drew to a close. The show has the show floor is closed down. And Eric Ridley, what are some of the things that you saw here at the meeting today?
Hey Brian. Well, yesterday I attended an interesting talk on sort of an update on the RSNA's image share project, which, as you may know, is an update. It's an image sharing project designed to encourage the patients to take control of the image sharing process. And what they found was they had a couple issues during the early stages of the project, and in terms of some of the patients had some technical and IT problems with some logging onto the program, etc. And they came up with some interesting strategies for resolving that. And today I attended in the Eugene A. Pendergrass lectures, which was given by Dr. Paul Chang and Keith Dreyer. And they talked about the roles of how IT can really solidify the future of radiology. And Dr. Chang had some interesting comments, in particular about how medical image management is being kind of one of the main forces behind the encouraging force behind commoditization and outsourcing of radiology, and how if done properly, innovation in this area could really solidify the value for radiology.
So one of the big themes here at the meeting has been how radiologists can get closer to the patient and how they can establish more of a relationship to the patient. Is that something that you think that IT tools can be used for?
I do, and if you look at the the image sharing project, for example, that patients are going to be able to gain control of how their images are shared. They can determine where the images are sent to and who has access to them.
Right.
And also,
yeah, go ahead.
And also in the Pendergrass lectures today, that was the theme about how radiologists can become more involved with patients.
All right, very good. Anything else you've seen out there on the floor that that you found interesting?
I think those are the highlights, Brian.
All right, very good. All right, Kate, you're up next. And what have you been covering this year at RSNA?
Hi, Brian. In terms of women's imaging, breast ultrasound, I was at a presentation yesterday with Dr. Wendy Berg. She asked the question whether breast ultrasound can be used as the primary screening modality instead of mammography in countries that may not have access to mammography, which I think ties in quite well to this putting the patient first idea. She was inspired to conduct the research. She used Akron 6666 data because she was asked at an Avon Foundation conference attended by many people throughout the world, if this could work, and it seems like it can, with a caveat. I mean, she says mammography is still the gold standard, and it's if it's available, it needs to be used. But for countries that don't have access to mammography, breast ultrasound could be an option. It does have higher recall rates, so that is a concern.
Okay. What about the issue of automated breast ultrasound? That kind of seems like it's been a pretty hot topic lately with using ultrasound in an automated way to scan women with dense breasts. Is that something that you're going to be seeing here at the show?
Yeah. Had a little bit of exposure to that yesterday as well, and going to another session tomorrow. The benefits of automated breast ultrasound is that it reduces, operator dependency. So it's another way to kind of take out some of the margin of error for using ultrasound. Yeah.
As we know, mammography is not a perfect technology, and we're starting to learn about some of the disadvantages behind it. And from what I know about automated breast ultrasound, it's kind of a way to do ultrasound in a much more efficient fashion than.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Anything else that you've seen here that you found interesting?
Attended a session today and wrote an article about some research coming out of ACR. Let me show it to you. Oh, sorry, this is the breast ultrasound one. I attended a presentation today that was about how advanced imaging is actually at the bottom of the list in terms of increasing Medicare spending. It's at the bottom,
that's something that's been kind of a common refrain that we've been hearing lately, where utilization of imaging has actually been declining in the last few years.
Yeah, and it's funny because what I'm hearing a lot of is we have all this research that shows that imaging has definitely been cut and the use is slowing, spending on it is slowing, but federal policymakers are not getting that message. So that's something that I think ties in probably with the idea that radiologists need to come out of the reading room and kind of meet with their patients, start getting politically involved.
Did they talk at all about whether radiology is being successful in talking to policymakers, people in Washington, D.C. who are implementing all these reimbursement cuts?
Well, you know, ACR is planning a ramped-up meeting in 2015. They meet every year, and they meet in Washington, and part of the conference is going up to Capitol Hill. So I think in 2015 they're planning a kind of much more saturated meeting, hoping to get a lot more people and to encourage members to come and lobby.
Okay, well, I hope it's effective.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have Wayne Forrest. Thank you, Kate. Wayne Forrest, you've been focusing on molecular imaging and some other technologies. So what have you seen that's been interesting here at RSNA?
Well, needless to say, Brian, PET MRI is taking center stage in that area right now. There's a PET MRI session today which talked about whether or not PET MRI is ready for prime time.
Wayne, I think we're having a little bit of trouble hearing you. Eric and Kate, can you hear Wayne?
No.
Okay, all right. Well, we might want to go to our guest right now, and we try to take care of that technical difficulty. All right, we have with us Lorna Young, and she is with our sister company, IMV Medical Information Division. Lorna, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Brian.
So RSNA Day 2 is winding down. They're starting to literally turn down the lights as we speak here. What have you seen out on the show floor that you found interesting?
Well, today the traffic was really busy. You could see lots of customers coming into our office. So I think you can say that RSNA is definitely still a star attraction for the radiology community. I see equipment and solutions that are meeting the customer's needs. Customers are, whether they're buying CTs or MRs, are trying to replace their CTs. So CT and MR are still going very strong in the main booths of GE, Siemens, and Philips. Meanwhile, there's a real focus on workflow and productivity because these customers are working harder and harder. While the reimbursement rates are going down, they're still working really hard. The procedures are actually, they may actually be being 2 for 1, being paid for 1, but still doing 2 procedures. So they're still working hard. So the story that all of the vendors are clinging to is workflow and efficiency. And I think that's making a good tune with the customers.
Okay. Some of the things that I've seen, it seems like there's been a big emphasis here on radiation dose management. So a lot of the statistical or iterative reconstruction, dose management things for CT. Also a big focus on patient experience, the patient experience in radiology, and how do we make that better? How do we make patients more comfortable in the scanners? And so it really kind of ties into the RSNA's overall theme of putting patients first. You kind of want to wrap everything together. All right, so we have Wayne Forrest back. Wayne, are you with us?
All right, let's try it again. How does that sound?
All right, that sounds much better. Thanks, Wayne.
All right, now we're ready to go.
Now we're rolling.
As I was starting to say, PET MRI was taking center stage from the activities that I was looking at today. And the question at the seminar was whether or not PET MRI is ready for prime time. And if the 8 or so studies that were presented there are any indication, PET MRI very much is ready for prime time in the short amount of time that it has been available. The summary basically is that research to date has shown that PET MRI has been extremely helpful in Alzheimer's research when it comes to brain imaging, whole body imaging, prostate cancer, tumors with soft tissue, I should say, such as head and neck cancers, where PET MRI seems to be falling short right now, and is a little bit inferior to some of the other modalities is in the area of lung imaging. The challenge right now with PET MRI is an attenuation correction. And once the researchers and the technology people, if you will, can get past the attenuation correction challenge, they pretty much figure that PET MRI is going to be off and rolling, very much so.
All right, very good. Anything else?
Do you have time for one more study?
I sure do.
Okay, I want to tell you about a study from Dr. Cyrus Raji out of UCLA, and let me get it up on the screen here and see if I can. He presented a study today which showed how physical activity helps slow the progress of dementia and Alzheimer's. And this is the third year in a row that Dr. Raji has presented a paper using MRI showing how physical activity, and a year ago was broiled fish, how eating broiled fish
I remember that. Yeah.
Dementia and Alzheimer's. This year he took 15 different physical activities and showed how it increases brain size, and as I said, slows the progress of dementia and Alzheimer's. So again, Dr. Raji has gone quite a way in showing how physical activity, and really a lot of the things that just common people can do to really progress and slow Alzheimer's.
All right, very good. Well, thank you, Wayne. Thank you to Lorna Young from IMV. Thank you to Kate Madnier and Eric Ridley for being with us today. Remember that you can get all the coverage of RSNA 2012 at our Radcast, radcast.AuntMinnie.com. And please check back with us on Wednesday for our wrap-up edition of AuntMinnieTV, the web show at RSNA 2012. Thank you very much, everyone, and enjoy RSNA week.